Hey everyone, my name's Justine Hovey and I have a newer brand here at CraftStash. It's called It's Just Paper and I've just released the Christmas Village release. I'm so excited to show you today how you can use the Christmas Village release to make some amazing cards using your patterned paper. Now, I want to let you know a little secret about what kind of bothers me in the craft room, and that is unused supplies. And so when I come out with a release, I actually give you an inspiration guide on what to do with all the amazing products that you just bought. So this Christmas release inspiration guide actually has 12 different card ideas in it with step-by-step instructions and photos so that you know exactly what to do with your collection when it arrives at your door. You can access this amazing inspiration guide over at JustineHoveyClasses.com, and it is absolutely free.
Now, I was massively inspired by the products from the Christmas Village collection. You can see a bunch of the cards that I created so far, so you can see the endless possibilities of the entire collection and a little sneak peek as to what is in the inspiration guide. But as I said, we are going to get into the patterned paper cards, so let's dive in. A very quick look at the patterned paper here. You have these gorgeous wood pattern, the Christmas village, these beautiful snowflakes on a green background, sort of a whitewashed wood, the Christmas village again on a gray background. So you always see this theme of Christmas village, wood, Christmas markets, that kind of thing. So I'm going to grab these here and I am going to cut them down into strips. 1/2 inch strips will do the job, and it kind of depends on how you create your card as to what the length are going to be, but we'll talk about that in just a second. In order to get those strips of paper under control, I've added a piece of double-sided adhesive. It's about 2 inches to my cardstock here while I'm placing down all of my strips. This is just going to help me hold everything in place and I don't have to glue in between, so it goes a lot quicker. I'm trying to alternate the patterns here. I don't necessarily need it to go all symmetrical where all 5 sheets of cardstock are in a specific order, but I do want to keep the darker colors spread out with the lighter colors and all of those things, so feel free to arrange your pattern paper as you see fit. And there's no need to use the entire paper pack for this. You can mix and match paper packs, of course. You could add yourself some solid cardstock in here. There are plenty of possibilities. When you're finished covering your 4¼ inch wide cardstock, you're just going to trim off any edges. I always find personally that when I have a trimmed off piece, meaning that they're not all a 1/2 inch exactly perfectly from left to right, it looks a little bit more natural having these smaller pieces off to the side. But of course, that's up to you as to how you want your card to look. So I'm going to set that off to the side for now, and I'm going to grab my card front. This is the panel. It measures 4¼ by 5½, and I'm going to cut off a piece at the bottom at a diagonal. It doesn't particularly matter how big this chunk that you're taking out of your panel is, as long as the 2 lines are symmetrical, meaning they're at roughly the same angle. Because you can see here that when we add the cardstock to the top and the bottom of our card panel that we just created with our pattern strips, it just is important that, of course, the strips are long enough to cover the window, but then also that the angles are the same going from left to right so that it doesn't look wonky. I'm going to go ahead and add these here to my card base, and you can also, completely up to you, get a little bit of a different look if you prefer, if you add those white pieces with the diagonal using foam tape rather than using normal adhesive. It'll give a little bit more of a shadow to it. Next up, I'm just going to simply stamp my sentiment. This is from the Holiday Sentiments stamp that is a part of the Christmas Village collection. This is a step that you might actually want to do, especially if you're working with the foam tape, before you attach your card together, because sometimes what can happen, especially if we're using foam tape, if you don't have the same thickness of foam tape, or maybe there's a gap in between your foam tape, what might happen is it might not stamp clearly. So I stamped it a couple of times using my MISTI just to darken up the green shade here, and I think this green shade goes really well with the paper pack itself. And there is our first card done. This can be used with card scraps, pattern paper, solid paper. It's a great card sketch for creating with your cardstock and paper. Now let's work with some smaller strips this time. I'm going to use about 1/4 inch strips here, and again just making them approximately 4 inches long roughly, and about 1/4 inch wide, and I'm going to cut myself a bunch of strips from the pattern paper. So similar to the previous card, I have myself a card panel here all ready to go, and I've added some double-sided adhesive to it. This time I've added 2 pieces of 2 inches, so it's 4 inches roughly, so that it's going to cover everything perfectly, and I'm going to begin to add the strips down the card. Again, I'm not going for a symmetrical look here. I am more or less just placing random pieces of paper, but I am trying to make sure that no 2 pieces of paper are too close to one another that are the same. But again, just being kind of random about it, nobody's going to notice if it's not perfect. So now that I have all of that done, everything's set off to the side, I'm going to grab myself another card panel this time. And this one here, I'm going to die cut this beautiful snowflake out of to create myself a pretty frame. I'm going to hold it in place using a piece of tape and run it through my die cutting machine. It is important that that snowflake stays put and in the center towards the top, or you can put it in the direct center of your card. That will look nice as well. So now just grabbing my card base here, and I have my panel of patterned paper all ready to go, and I have my frame. And that's when I realized that my patterned paper strips are actually the same size as my card base, 4 1/4 inches wide, but my card panel that I had die cut the snowflake out of was 4 inches. And that's not a big deal. You can have the strips poking out for the side. That's going to look really neat as well. But I preferred mine to not do that and to just stick behind the card panel. So I just had to trim it down a little bit. I've added some foam tape here. I don't like saggy cards, so I tend to add a lot of foam tape. And I'm just going to remove all of that and add it to my card. Once again, if you are stamping a sentiment or something on this, be sure to stamp before you add your foam tape, just to make your life a lot easier. I decided to add a small snowflake from the snowstorm set from this collection, and I actually created this using embossing powder. So I wanted to have like a copper paper to go with those browns, but I didn't have any, so I heat embossed some copper embossing powder on a piece of cardstock and die cut out the snowflake. Now, a fun little fact about the way I create cards is I don't necessarily always put a sentiment on my cards. This allows me to stamp a sentiment after the fact, or just leave it as is when you have a beautiful focal point like this. So let's move on to card number 3 that I'm creating today. I was really inspired by the first card that we created. Creating one of those diagonals I thought would look really cool, so I went ahead and did the same, but this time cutting out of gray cardstock. Once again, doesn't particularly matter how large that strip is that you just cut out, as long as the angles are the same, and you can do that by using the lines on your paper trimmer. I'm going to go ahead and fold myself an A2 size card base out of the same gray cardstock. This is another easy way to incorporate patterned paper. I grabbed myself a larger sheet of the patterned paper. This one here has pictures of Christmas houses on it, very Christmas market style, and I'm going to add this directly to the card base. I'm going to continue adding some foam tape on top of these gray panels, so the actual card is very similar to the first one, just the diagonal is different as to where it's placed, and we don't have strips of cardstock. We have one solid piece of cardstock behind it, and we're also going to add some fun detail to it. Now, I create cards spontaneously. I do not really sketch out my cards beforehand, so this is why I like to tell you in videos to do things differently than what I'm maybe showing on the screen. And I'm going to tell you right now, before you add your foam tape, if you're going to add some heat embossed houses like me, do that before you add all of this foam tape and attach it to your card. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble. But this was an afterthought to me because I thought the card was maybe missing a little bit of something, so it is what it is. It turned out okay in the end. It's okay to have afterthoughts and attempt them, and even if they don't turn out, it's just paper. That's the name of my card brand. That's what I'm going for here. It's all about just going with the creative flow and creating and having fun. So I decided the card, again, was too plain for my liking, so I went ahead and grabbed 3 stamps from the Christmas Village stamp set, again a part of the Christmas Village collection, and I'm going to go ahead and ink those up in some embossing ink or some Versamark ink, and I'm going to heat emboss these on the front of my card so that they kind of reflect the pattern that is in the patterned paper itself. The cool thing about the pattern paper, I know it's very fine detail for the video, is that the houses in the stamp set are the same that are on this pattern paper. They're just smaller. I added white embossing powder to these, and then I heated them up with my heat tool. You can see the final result here, and you can also see that the bottoms of the houses didn't exactly emboss perfectly, and the reason being is what I've been mentioning throughout this whole video is the fact that I was stamping directly on foam tape, which is not a very solid surface, and that's kind of what can happen. So I die cut myself the Christmas sentiment out of some white cardstock. This is from the Holiday Sentiments, again from the Christmas Village collection. And I added it on top of the patterned paper. And then I went ahead and grabbed Mary, and then I added this as well. And the reason why I decided to add this particular spot, I was thinking of stamping it, is so that I can cover up a little bit of the mistakes in the houses. So I always believe that there's a way to do card surgery or to fix your mistakes, or at least hide them. Now I love neutral cards and neutral colors, but this was looking a little flat to me. I felt like it needed a little something. So I went ahead and grabbed a few red sequins and added this to the card. I also pondered the idea of maybe die cutting Mary or Christmas out of red cardstock as well to give it a little bit more of a pop. So that is an alternative for you as well if you'd like. And here is a final look at this card here. So 3 great card ideas for how to use your patterned paper.
I hope you enjoyed these pattern paper ideas. I'll be here more of a regular on the CraftStash channel as each release happens, and you can also follow me over at Justine Hovey here on YouTube, where I have hundreds of videos ready to go for card making. See you there.